On this week's episode of Capsim Survivor, I'm your host, Frankie Pinkard. Let's check in on Tribe Erie. Round 1 is up. Vote for who you want to kick off the island.
John.
I messed up.
Round 1 results are in, and
The Erie Tribe got off to a rough start. We had a lot of money wrapped up in inventory and our sales were low, and as a result we took out an emergency loan, which really hurts us. The loan was for around $2.2 million and we had around $8,000 wrapped up in inventory, so as a result we had little cash for the following rounds, and I have a feeling that's going to affect our decision making in the future because we're going to have very little cash. And I'm heading out.
with a tearful goodbye to John, let's start round 2. Vote for who you want to kick off the island.
Sam.
Hannah.
I honestly think that this round comes the responsibility of Sam because we had very little profits and we really needed profits, so if it was my decision, I'd kick Sam off the island.
While we did have a decent amount of sales, we didn't have enough sales to really balance out all the variable expenses we had. And we had a lot of other expenses from TQM, SG&A, and marketing, so that really tanked the sales. We needed them to go up. And so we had a negative profit of $977,000, which was rather bad. And because of this, our stock price dropped significantly to 8.25, which was the second lowest in the industry. So this is going to hurt the Erie Tribe in the later terms, while we have to refinance it. So we can't easily use common stock because it is so devalued in price. You probably have to go to either long-term or current debt. And like touching on the low sales again, Erie had only 442 and Eve had 99. And these products, while they did just recently come out in the market, these sales still need to be more. So, Erie Tribe, I'm sorry I let you down and I accept being moved off.
Round 3 is over. With John gone and no one to turn on the lights, Hannah has been working on the dark. Let's see what she attributes her success to.
Our contribution margin this round was a 5 out of 5 on the balanced scorecard. Our product Eat had a 54% contribution margin, Ear had a 45%, Eve had 47%, and Extra with a 0% because it was a new product and we haven't sold it yet. Overall, our contribution margin was a 49.8%, which was the highest out of all the other tribes. We got this by having a low production cost and high automation. We also had low variable cost all around this round. Another thing we focused on was our return on equity. This is found by sales divided by equity. Our sales were around $59 million and our equity was around $26 million. Overall, this gave us a 20.4 return on equity. This was lower than the other tribes, but it was still good overall.
So one big thing I learned is sales forecasting is a huge part of Capsim because you're trying to find a good balance between inventory and sales. And once you find that balance, it'll lead to higher profits and obviously more cash.
What I learned was all about inventory, how to balance having too much and too little inventory. we had to find that balance so that we weren't having too many holding costs or stocking out.
I learned about the relationship between leverage and keeping your days of working capital both in good ranges and how to balance both of those things at the same time.
I learned a lot about dividends, so while it's good to have to give back to your stockholders in the form of dividends, it can increase your costs a lot, so it can bite you in the end. So it's just all about finding the balance between giving some but not too much.